Hi everyone, this is Via from Via Crates and Sammy, and welcome to this new video. Today I'll be setting up my August bullet journal. I think this is probably my favorite setup that I have done this year. I think objectively January is the best one, but this just holds such a special place in my heart because I was inspired to do this enchanted forest theme for this year because of my love for fairy tales, and this one just really has all of those fairy tale vibes, as the theme is kind of like this enchanted tower in the forest guarded by a friendly dragon, and there's lots of greenery and flowers, and it's just so beautiful. And so this will always have just a special place in my heart. I took a while to make this one because at the beginning of August I was still finishing up my last class, and then I had to graduate, and that was just like obviously a lot of things happening in that month. So I decided to hold off a little bit to do this, and I'm so glad that I did because it really gave me the chance to relax and take my time to enjoy doing these drawings. And then I didn't have to worry about maybe putting off like some of my really important things that I had going on to do my journaling, and so just giving myself that grace to just wait a little bit was definitely the right move. If you follow my Instagram and my TikTok, then you might have seen my announcement about graduating and the spreads that I made based off of that. And if you haven't, I just spent 5 years at college where I did a joint degree program, so I got both my Bachelor of Science and my Master's of Public Health in Environmental Health Science. And I loved it. I love environmental health science. It's the branch of public health that looks at hazards in the environment and how they affect human health, and that is definitely something that I'm really passionate about as a person, and loved being able to study and, you know, be able to be connected with all of these people who loved the same things as me. Of course, it was also very difficult, and I had a lot of really severe health issues during college, and so that made it really difficult for me to actually finish my degrees. And there were a lot of times where I did not think it was going to be possible, to the point that even up to like actually graduating in the ceremony, I thought someone was going to pull me aside and be like, you did not finish this one thing, like you're going to have to wait to graduate till later. So it definitely had a lot of anxiety about that. And I think this was probably the only thing that I did in the week after graduating. Like, I think I just crashed and slept the whole time other than working on this. So I definitely needed that rest, and I am currently taking a gap year before getting another master's degree, and so I'm going to be just working and applying to grad schools, but overall leading a much less stressful life and just trying to get my health a little bit stronger before I go back to school. As you can see, I have already added some blues and oranges in the spread, and the other principal colors in here are different shades of brown and green and red. I think that this is very evocative of like those little fairy tale books that I used to read with just the really gorgeous, colorful illustrations. And I also don't really use this combination a ton, and so I was trying to experiment a little bit more with it. And it turned out so lovely, and everything just fit together so beautifully. These flowers that I have here at the bottom are actually daylilies, and this flower will always make me think of summer. Growing up, my mom had all of these beautiful daylilies planted around our yard, and during like the end of July, like beginning of August, they would bloom every single day, and we would just have entire flower beds filled with these gorgeous deep red flowers with a bold yellow center. And I don't see people like talk about them very much as a flower, but they are so underrated and so gorgeous. And it's not really a flower that you can like really cut and keep in a vase. So it's kind of cool to know that like these are something that you really will only see like if you're able to plant them. And if you are into gardening and live in a climate where these grow well, I definitely recommend them. They're bulbs, so they just go in the ground in the winter and they will like bloom for literally years after that and require like no maintenance. So that is a super nice benefit to get some gorgeous flowers. I wanted the first page to be kind of the far away glance at the tower, and the second page to be more of a close-up what it actually looks like inside, so you can see me working on that here. I definitely wanted this tower to be filled with lots of plants and sunlight, and kind of give a little bit of the vibes of like Rapunzel's tower in Tangled, but obviously without like Mother Gothel or anything like that. Like, it's just a nice place to hang out. And honestly, I wish I had my own tower in the woods, because I feel like if I ever just wanted to get away for a little while, maybe just hang out with my friends, have a little weekend getaway, this would be the perfect spot. Since August was well past the halfway point for the year, I already had started to think a little bit about my bullet journal themes for the next year in 2025. And I had really been enjoying this idea of having a single theme for the year and basing each month off of a different aspect of that theme. So back in 2023, I did different cartoon characters. This year is of course my enchanted forest theme, and I am thinking about different ideas for next year. I'm not entirely settled on anything yet, but I have a couple of different possibilities that I'm deciding between, and I'm really excited for this next opportunity. But I think I will miss doing these enchanted forest themes so much. This has definitely been my favorite bullet journal series that I have ever done, and I love looking back on every month and seeing all of the illustrations that I've been able to create. As this month I did these spreads a little bit later than usual, I did not include habit trackers because I was not keeping track of them throughout the month, and instead just included a reading list, which since graduation was happening meant that I would actually have many books to put in it for this month. Unlike when I was in school and pretty much the only books I was reading were my textbooks. So I was very excited to do this reading list, and I think it is my favorite one that I have ever done. And I really should have read a lot more fairy tale books for this theme to kind of match the illustration, but either way, it just looked so lovely. I feel like books are definitely such a good way to unwind. I don't personally like reading books that are really scary or stressful, and I do like reading, classics or maybe books that would be a little bit considered more literature, but I like to also mix it up with books that are a little bit more light and easy to read, and I really think that all those types of books have value, because I think that having a variety of things to read, whether it's for escapism or for thinking or for any other reason, is just such a privilege. And so I was so excited to be able to actually read so many books in a month and to be able to write them in my journal. I drew some more daylilies here in the corner next to the tower as a way to add some more color to this page, because I wouldn't be including the dragon here. I'm actually including it in the quotes page, so I wanted to make sure that everything was balanced color-wise. This part made me so anxious because I knew that if my hand wobbled or shook, then the circle would not look as nice, but it turned out so lovely, and I was so proud of myself for that. Doing journal pages like this reminds me that I need to really pull out my coloring books and start using those more, because this is so fun. Like, I don't know if any of y'all have seen those like coloring videos on social media, but they are so fun to watch and so satisfying. And I probably could just sit and color all day if I was not an adult with responsibilities. But like being a kid and being able to just spend a whole afternoon doing coloring pages, or even a whole weekend doing coloring, that was just the best. I kind of miss those days, I'm not gonna lie. I really love the contrast between like the red and the yellow in these flowers. I think it looks gorgeous, especially against this lovely green background. With the remaining space, I'm going to color it in blue to look like the sky. And I definitely loved how all of this turned out, especially with this pop of orange in the actual reading list itself. As promised, I will be drawing the dragon on this page, and if you couldn't tell from the first page because it's a little bit harder to see, I was definitely inspired by Chinese artwork when drawing these dragons. I think that the art style for the dragons in Chinese mythology is so beautiful, and so I was inspired by a lot of those types of artworks when I was creating this spread. Drawing the dragon's feet was actually so hard, and it reminded me of why I try to avoid everything in me possible to draw hands and feet, even if it's on animals or mythological creatures. On to lettering the title for the quotes page, and I did not realize until after I finished it I switched the O and the U, so hopefully it's not super obvious, but yeah, I did not know until I'd done it, and honestly it would have just been more work and made it more obvious if I had tried to fix it somehow, so I just left it. Just adding the finishing details on the dragon's mane with this orange marker here. All my quotes for August were directly related to the month itself, and those were so fun to find. And I of course had to start with August by Taylor Swift, but I also included some other songs about August, including one that is absolutely my favorite this year and I've listened to so much and will probably be like the top song on my Spotify Wrapped because it is all that I listened to this summer. Time to add some color to these quotes to make them pop off the page extra and to be able to balance it out with the opposing page. I was honestly worried that the silver pen wouldn't show up as well against the light blue, but it actually looks so good because even when the light isn't reflecting on it, you can still see the little stars and swirls. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you liked this, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.